Hi, I'm Belinda Carley, the Director of the Institute of Personal Care Science, and we get asked a lot about formulating products that are free from certain ingredients, or vegan, or all natural, or even 100% organic. So I thought I'd do a video for you to show you the impact of going free from certain ingredients, or even clean with your formulations, and how they might impact your ingredient selection, choices, performance, and even the stability and shelf life of your product formulas. Now, I've created some really handy tables for you to refer to, and I've even color-coded these to make understanding the tables even easier. Now, with the color code reference, you'll see that where it's green, light green, or even yellow, you've still got lots of choices with ingredients that you can use that will still provide suitable aesthetics for your consumers, as well as the required performance, shelf life, and other quality aspects. But it starts to get a lot more challenging when you start to need ingredients in the orange, red, or purple sections. And of course, if you're trying to choose an ingredient that is black, well, then you've got very little choice, if any at all. Where I've color-coded ingredients as red, it means you'll have very few choices to select from. And this can impact your point of difference. So when you're trying to market your product, if you're trying to show that that product has some superior performance or ingredient aspects, you'll find that other products marketed to be free from the same sorts of ingredients as yours, you'll probably be using the same types of ingredients. In other words, you have a very small point of difference. By the time you get to the purple rating, you'll have significant sourcing issues. And this can impact continuity of supply, as well as your price, and definitely impacts that point of difference. It can also significantly impact your performance, such that going free from may not be the best idea for your brand or products after all. Because at the end of the day, consumers may want to choose certain products over others because of the types of ingredients it does or does not contain, but ultimately they want products that work and deliver on their promises, and of course have the required quality and aesthetic aspects that they're looking for as well. When you start to incorporate a lot of red or purple ingredient choices, you're limiting yourself somewhat. So it might be time to question, is this the best thing for your brand? Remember too that all cosmetic ingredients, when used within regulatory limits, are safe and suitable for use, which means avoiding certain ingredients in many cases just doesn't make good brand sense, especially when it comes to marketing a point of difference, ensuring continuity of supply, and making sure that your consumers are really happy with how the product performs. So let's take a look at these tables in more detail now that you know how I've color-coded the ingredients. Now, first of all, I've listed out the different types of ingredient classifications by the role they might play in the formulation. As you can see, I've listed out different types of aroma compounds, herbal extracts, active ingredients, oils and lipids, surfactants, superfatting and solubilizing agents, emulsifiers, minerals and colorants, thickeners, preservatives, and other ingredients that couldn't be classified elsewhere. You'll see that if you wanted to go vegan or halal, you've got quite a lot of choice. You'll see that if you want to go hypoallergenic, you also still have quite a lot of choice. And of course, if you wanted to be free from the standard PEGs, SLS, parabens, sulfates, and propylene glycol, you'll still have quite a bit of choice. The issue, and where brands really start to limit themselves, is if they want to be using totally natural or 100% organic ingredients. Now, you'll see with the organic column in particular that there just aren't certified organic choices for a lot of these ingredient classifications. You'll also see that 100% naturally derived ingredients also limits your choices somewhat. Now, if one of your brand philosophies is to have a really natural product that's also free from a lot of ingredients, this is where your ingredient choices become significantly more limited. If you take a look at the table again, you'll see that you start to have significant limitations on the choices of vitamins if you want to be all natural and free from PEGs, SLS, parabens, sulfates and propylene glycol. And of course, you can't use any synthetic actives if this is your brand philosophy either. You'll also be really limited in the types of oils or emollients you can add to your formulas, as well as the type of surfactants and emulsifiers that you can choose from as well. While there's a significant number of non-ionic surfactants and non-ionic emulsifiers that would fit the requirements of 100% naturally derived and also suit PEG-free, sulfate-free, propylene glycol-free, you'll need more than just non-ionic surfactants and non-ionic emulsifiers to get the required performance, skin or hair feel, and stability out of your formulas. In some cases, you need anionic emulsifiers or surfactants or other superfatting agents to improve the performance and after skin or hair feel of your products as well. You'll see you are significantly limited when it comes to choosing cationic surfactants and cationic emulsifiers, and you're also somewhat limited when it comes to choosing colorants, thickeners, preservatives, and other essential components for various formulation types. Now, if you also want to go palm-free as well as naturally derived and free from PEGs, parabens, sulfates, etc., your choices become significantly more limited again. Remember, we're not just talking about putting in palm-free, totally natural ingredients that are free from these other chemicals. We're talking about also meeting a consumer's need for performance, their requirements of price, sensory and other aesthetic attributes, and we also need to commercially suit the logistics of sourcing these materials over a prolonged period as well. In other words, you're making things a lot harder for your brand than you need to, with potentially not a great marketing outcome either. Now, in case you're not aware of some of the stigma around the use of palm in cosmetics, or even just how present it is, please watch my other video which talks you through the use of palm oil in cosmetics. Let's take a look at the impact of being palm-free, totally natural, and free from PEGs, parabens, sulfates, and propylene glycol as well. As you can see, restricting your ingredient choices in this way makes your choices much more limited and potentially reduces the performance, aesthetics, and stability properties of the formulas that you can provide for your consumers, simply because the ingredient choices just aren't available. So then you might be thinking, well, hey Belinda, I've seen brands out there making these sorts of claims. Well, I want you to take a closer look at the types of products they're providing, and I also want you to check what sort of certifications they might have in place to prove or validate the claims of the ingredients they're either using or not using. For example, in this next table, I'm going to list out the types of products and how they might be restricted by different free-from choices. As you can see from this table, going vegan or halal doesn't impact your formulas very much. In fact, you can still make really commercially suitable vegan and halal products by not limiting other aspects of the formulations or your ingredient choices. You can also create hypoallergenic products and products that are free from PEGs, SLS, parabens, sulfates, and propylene glycol quite easily as well. Again, the difficulty really comes in when you start to want to create 100% natural products and products to an organic certifier standard. Now in this table, you'll see that I've got a column listed out 100% natural except nature identical preservatives, and I've done that simply because a lot of preservatives available for use are synthetic but identical to what occur in nature. And then I have a column for organic formulas created to Cosmos Organic standards. Formulating to Cosmos Organic standards means you do have a little bit of flexibility in incorporating some nature identical or other small inputs of synthetic materials. And they've done this to enable you to create functional, good performance cosmetic products that still meet their organic standard. But are they 100% organic? No, they're not. But they do comply with their specific certification rules. So if you want to formulate organic products and that's important to your brand, I would recommend you use the Cosmos Organic Standard as your guide and also as your certifying body so that you can prove or validate your organic claims to your consumer. Now again, this table does not look too bad, but the problem starts when you want to have more free from restrictions for your product. For example, when you want that product to be natural or organic to the Cosmos standard, as well as palm-free, as well as free from PEGs, parabens, sulfates, propylene glycol, you'll now see that your product performance, quality, or other aspects are significantly impacted. You'll see, for example, that creating body wash and body scrub, cleansing balms or oils, cream cleansers, scrubs, foaming face wash and scrub, and micellar water, while possible, may not have a very strong point of difference from other companies making the same sort of organic or natural and free from claims. Now, point of difference is essential if you want to have a successful product in the market. So where you're limiting your ingredient choices, you're not only limiting your product performance, but you're also limiting the point of difference that you can market compared to the other companies that might be making the same sort of free-from claims. From this table, you'll also see that creating hydrating mists, shampoos, and water and oil creams or ointments are also significantly impacted. And the biggest issue here is in maintaining a good shelf life. So even if you can get a good performance out of the ingredient choices you're left with, you'll probably find your products are challenged to maintain a suitable aesthetic profile over a prolonged shelf life period. And finally, conditioners. If you want to create harm-free natural conditioners, you will find that while there are some ingredient choices, the performance compared to other ingredients that you've now limited yourself from using is significantly impacted to the point where your consumer may not want to use that product. Even if they've purchased it the first time because of what you've claimed isn't in the formula, you might find that you actually need some of those ingredients to give your consumer the type of performance and product that they're used to buying and want the performance of. It's also really important when you look at this last table that this is not 100% natural or 100% organic. It is formulating to the Cosmos Natural or Organic standard, which allows you to have some synthetic inputs. But it's still incredibly difficult to have a strong point of difference and a high performing product if you're going to limit your ingredient choices in this way. So what does all of this mean if you're trying to build your own brand? Well, if you're looking at avoiding certain ingredients or making free-from claims, the first question I have to ask you is, what is your key motivation for wanting to avoid certain ingredients? For example, as you could see, it's quite easy to create vegan-friendly products. And there's nothing wrong with offering these types of products for your consumers where that might be their personal choice. But are you avoiding certain ingredients because of safety issues? Remember, all cosmetic ingredients when used within regulatory limits are safe. So avoiding certain ingredients because you want to have safe or clean products is not a sound reason to avoid certain ingredients where your performance or stability might be impacted. The next question I want to ask you is, what benefits are you really getting by restricting your ingredient choices? And this goes hand in hand with the third question I want to ask, and that is restricting these ingredients better or worse suited to the true motivations of your target market? As I've mentioned at the end of the day, having free-from claims or scaring your consumers into using products by making them think other ingredients are unclean or unsafe is not a sound marketing decision long term, where it otherwise impacts the performance or point of difference that you can market about your product. In other words, by trying to avoid certain ingredients, you might find that your consumers will try your product but then not repurchase it because they want the performance or sensory attributes of another product instead. There's nothing wrong with making some ingredient choices for your brand where it's going to benefit your product and be more suited to your target market. But just remember, having a product that has an outstanding performance is one of the crucial elements to having a brand leader in the first place. So don't restrict your ingredient choices because you're scared of so-called ingredients that are otherwise perfectly safe. Don't go all natural if that's going to compromise the performance that your target consumer is going to expect from your product line. And definitely don't go all natural if you're trying to compete with other products that don't use all natural ingredients and have an outstanding performance. You're far better off having a small synthetic input with a far stronger marketing difference and outstanding performance to keep your customer happy. They're the products that sell well and become brand leaders. Now you can contact me for this table and this information. I hope it helps you make the right types of ingredient selections and brand philosophies to suit the growth and longevity of your brand, as well as help you create brand leading, high performing, highly stable and highly marketable cosmetic products as well. I hope you've enjoyed this video and how I've explained how going free from can impact your formulations. Please give the video a thumbs up, please leave any questions or comments below, and make sure you subscribe to receive notifications about all our videos. Happy formulating!